welcome back to the channel. It has been so long since I've been behind this camera. How are you? How your mama doing? Okay, how you been? How's life? Welcome to the channel for those who know and for those who do not know. I am Kalinda and this is Kalinda with the King. Okay, so we're just gonna get straight into it. Today's video is about my weight loss journey, but this time with God. So a lot of you who are on my platform know that I have shared testimonies throughout the years about my weight loss. Now, full transparency moment and disclaimer, if you see me looking down, it's because I have notes on my phone that I'm gonna read to, like little nuggets I want to talk about pertaining to my weight loss. But also too, I just wanted to share like my testimony and what like really got me started on my weight loss journey. And so we're just gonna get straight into it. So starting off, what originally inspired me to lose weight was, I wanna say in 2019, this was like in high school, before I graduated, I tore my ACL. I know. Yeah, for those who were around at that time, y'all know I had tore my ACL, and on top of that, I tore a ligament in my ankle. And so this is like right before COVID hit, and I was actually in a really low state. Not only I missed prom, y'all, because I had tore my ACL, tore my ligament in my ankle, but I was also mentally depressed and suicidal. I was probably at one of my lowest points in 2019. And so when I came to college, I got to like one of my heaviest weights, which was, I want to say 214. And I'll have to clip a picture in so y'all can see. I'm not lying. I got the receipts. I got the pictures. But that's really like what initiated it, was my injury. And so on top of that, and then life, you know, dealing with the things that I've gone through at that time, I had ended up gaining weight, and it caused a lot of pain in my knee. And I realized at that point, I can't keep going on life like this. It got to a point where the pain was unbearable, y'all. Like having a weight on your knee that is uncomfortable, y'all. It's like your knee's like, you know, like rubbing. So, you know, for those who are athletic trained, like this is like the top of the knee, the bottom of the knee, and then you got your ACL and your PCL, your MCL, and your LCL. And so and then there's some cartilage right here. So it's like my tendons were like grinding together, and it just hurts so bad. And that's really what sparked me to lose weight. So prior to me losing weight, I told y'all I was gaining weight. So you come to college and you're like, yeah, independent, woo! And then you hit that college cafe, y'all. Freshman 15 hit me hard. I'm talking about, I was eating 2, 3, 4 times a day. No restraint. Mind you, I'm already like 190 something coming to college. So I really gained that freshman 15. And then on top of that, I want to say when I came to college, I had entered into a relationship, broke it off because I wanted to seek the Lord, and the Lord told me to break it off. And then on top of that, that's when more weight got added on to what I already had. So at that point, I was down bad. It was about time to drop weight. So when I dropped weight the first time, so this is without God, y'all, my heart was in the wrong posture. And this is like before I gave my life to Christ. So at this point, I have fresh out of relationship, y'all. I'm going through mental torment. Okay, this is before I gave my life to Christ. So just keep that in mind. This is pre-Christ, pre-rededication to Christ. I'm suicidal. I'm depressed. Post-breakup, okay? And in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm finna get my lick back. Huh? And that, I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate. The females and males can relate. I'm finna show them what they missed, you know? And that was just my heart posture, and it was very wrong. And so I tried to do it by myself and without the work of Christ. And so I found myself not being able to accomplish my goals because, for one, I had no real foundation. The foundation was bitterness. The foundation was vengeance. The foundation was you finna see what you missed out on, and that's not the right heart posture. And so in that, I found a lot of the ways that I was doing stuff was wrong. I would try to like starve myself. I would try to like fast. What else? I was drinking diet teas, y'all. Doing anything and everything but working out. First and foremost. And I'm gonna just be real with y'all. A lot of how you lose weight, yes, it's working out, but it's also what you're eating. And we're gonna get into that too. But at this point, I didn't know that yet. So again, a lot of it is me leaning on my own understanding and my own emotions to get me through this. And so after I rededicated my life to Christ, I want to say, what was that, 2020 summer? I want to say either summer 2020 or spring of 2021. I'll have to look back, but after, just know, after I got rebaptized, I tried again. And at this point, y'all, again, I was still new in my faith and I was still trying to do it on my own, but I started to include God in it. Though it wasn't successful. I mean, it was successful, y'all, but we're gonna get back to how I did it and then, you know, where I'm at now. But bear with me, sorry, y'all. Just bear with me. All over. I'm so sorry. But after I rededicated my life to Christ, I asked the Lord to help me lose weight. And this is no joke, y'all. So this is probably like 3 weeks after getting rebaptized with God. And you know, at this point, I'm still learning about Christ. I'm still looky, just a little bit. Like the Lord's still dealing with me. You know, the change don't happen all at once. It happens over time. So God was still dealing with my heart, but he met me where I was. And I knew when I got baptized, I heard the Holy Spirit tell me he would help me lose weight. And so the Lord did in fact keep his promise. At this point in my life, I was working at a car wash outdoors, y'all, in heat, cleaning cars for the summer, trying to make change to pay for college. And this is like probably my freshman year going into my sophomore year, and I needed money. I was at a low point in my life, and I'm like, God, give me a job. He gave me a job just in the nick of time. And so with this job, he started ministering to me on TikTok. And so, you know, I'm praying and I'm like, Lord, would you please help me lose weight? Because again, y'all, the weight that I had on my knee was so uncomfortable. It is one of them things, like, it's like if you've had surgery of any kind and you had, like, you know, the uncomfortable feeling it is to be overweight with surgery, like scars, like, y'all, it is another kind of pain. And it was getting to a point where it's hurting for me to walk. I couldn't run. I wasn't athletic how I wanted to be. And so all of a sudden, y'all, I'm on my lunch break. Mind you, I just had Chick-fil-A and I'm scrolling, and this is when the Lord brings to my attention about a calorie deficit. And now, I am not a licensed person about diet. I'm not no dietitian. I'm not no fitness coach. But what I can tell you is based off of what the Lord has taught me about a calorie deficit and eating is what I will share. So fast forward from that moment on, I was on a calorie deficit. It wasn't restricted. I didn't know too much about eating yet. The Lord was just helping me lose weight. He kept his promise. I want to say by the time I came back to school, I lost 20 pounds off of a calorie deficit, but still my heart wasn't quite yet in the right posture. It was still like it wasn't any longer like I'm trying to get my lick back, but a lot of it was I had something to prove. I felt like so many people had done me wrong. I have something to prove, something to show for, and trying to seek man's approval when the goal should never be that, y'all. Y'all shouldn't be out here trying to lose weight for the approval of man. The only approval you should be looking to is God's. His is what matters the most. And so even if you're on a weight loss journey, I challenge you to think about, what is your why? Is your why for another person, or is it truly for you? And so I want to say that was like the first time I lost weight, and I want to say the lowest I got the first go around was 165 with the Lord, but my heart was still not in the right posture. And so I want to say junior year going into, no, sophomore year going into junior year is when I decided like, okay, let's get it back, because I felt like I was too small. And I'll put a clip in here. I felt like I was a little bit too small for my comfort. And I was like, all right, let's try this again. Let's gain it back. So I intentionally over time gained it back. But what I did not do, you know what I didn't do? I didn't track macros. I was just eating. I didn't do none of that other stuff. I was just like, I'm gonna gain it back, and Lord help me get it back. And God is so good. He helped me gain it back, y'all. But what I didn't know I was doing, right, until this point where I am now, I was gaining it back and I'm weightlifting. So y'all, for the ones who saw me before I graduated, I was looking real bulky, real swole, real muscle mommy like. Yeah, it was because I was bulking and not realizing I was bulking. And so it didn't hit me. I gained weight until I graduated. And so that's where we are now. So if you're following with me, I'm proud of you. I know I'm like all over y'all. I love you. Thank you for making it this far. So after I graduated college, I went on my vacation to Jamaica. And I'm gonna clip the picture in here so y'all can see. Let me move to the side so y'all can. I'm gonna clip it right here so y'all can see. But I look back at my photos, y'all, and when I looked at my pic, when I tell you, I was like, did I gain weight? And the thing is, you don't notice until you look at a pic, y'all. And when I looked at my pics, I said, I gained weight. Like, and it hit me that I really gained weight. And sometimes you really be blind to the fact that you gain weight. For real, y'all. I didn't really notice I gained weight. I was just telling myself like, oh, you know, I'm just weightlifting. And so my clothes are getting tighter. It's just for me lifting weights.
Stop the cap.
Cap. I gained weight. And it is what it is. Life happened. I gained weight. And that's what happened. So that's what happened, and life happened. So I was going through all these transitions and graduating and bulking and not realizing I'm bulking. And I'm gonna clip the photos of me, what I look like. Let me put a pause here. Yeah, so I was working out and all the things. And then it got to a point, now I'm in my master's program for school, and it's like, how it was the first time I lost weight. I'm having issues with my knee. I'm having knee pain. I'm having joint pain. I'm feeling uncomfortable in my weight. And when you get to that point of uncomfortability, that's where I was like, all right, I can't do this no more. Being thick ain't bad. It's just too, you know, there's a thickometer, okay? You got like BBL thick, okay? And then you got obese thick, okay? You got mid thick, you got a skinny thick, and then you have skinny. I was up there with like BBL thick, and I'm just like, this is way too thick for me. Way too thick, way too thick, way too thick, and way too uncomfortable. So at this point, I want to say it's like, my cruise was in, I want to say June. End of June, going to July, I was like, I gotta lose weight. I have to lose weight. And so the cycle kind of continued. I tried to do it on my own understanding at first. Now this time, you know, I'm in the Lord now. Y'all know, if y'all know, y'all know. I'm in the Lord now. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And you know, it's our human tendency to want to like rush things and get over with and get it done with. And that's what happened the first time. I rushed it and I was like, I'm trying to do this by this date because I have something to prove. But this time, not only is God so good, in my weight loss journey this time, the Lord had to re-educate me, but we did it slow and steady. And so for the people who are like trying to like hurry up and get it done, I encourage you to do the slow and steady route, not a quick fix route. Because what I have learned, again, I am not a professional, but what I do know is if you do it too quick, too fast, you can actually jack your metabolism up. This is what I heard. And I'll probably clip an article in here so you can see it. I'll probably clip it in the link. But there is research out there about when you're doing these deficits, when you're doing these cuts, you don't want to cut too low. And I know personally, when I started, it was very unhealthy. I was cutting way below what I'm actually supposed to be eating. Okay, and so it made losing weight unsustainable, and that's why I also gained so much weight back so fast, is because for one, I wasn't setting realistic goals, and I was trying to rush it. And we know that anything rushed is not of God, okay? God is a God of patience. God took his time when he formed you in your mother's womb. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't he take his time to help you get to where you want to go? And so that is the journey, like my little testimony of where we're at now, okay? So where I am now, since I graduated, which was May 2020, and we are it's June 5th, okay, of 2025. When I graduated, I was 209 pounds. I am currently, y'all, by the grace and the wisdom of God, I am at 176. And it took me, I want to say 1 year to get here, because I didn't want to do the fast route. And that was actually my prayer. I said, God, help me to lose weight and do this in a healthy way and not in a way to like speed it up, because I want to maintain my weight. And now that I have gone through this journey that took a year, but I'm telling you, adding the Lord into your fitness routine and the practical steps I'm going to tell you, which is having a calorie deficit, and I had a food scale, is what helped me to not only lose weight, but maintain weight. And so I'm going to talk about the tools, I use to lose weight, and just like giving you guys tips and tricks on not just losing weight, but how to maintain the weight in a practical way and not in a crazy way, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you need to track your macros every day because you wanna know the truth. I don't do it every day. And that's just real. I would be capping if I told y'all every day you need to weigh your stuff. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I did weigh pretty much all my food majority of the time to be consistent to get where I am now. But now to maintain, for the most part, I really don't weigh everything unless I feel like I need to weigh it for proper measurement, because I am still trying to lose, I wanna say like 4 more pounds in tone and lean. Those are my personal goals. Now, if your goal is just to lose weight, maintain weight, I would suggest that you do use a food scale, like an actual scale to weigh yourself, and that's what I would use. So we're gonna get straight into it. One of the main reasons I wanted to lose weight was for longevity. So I want to say, like, for anybody who's losing weight, I want you to write out your weight loss goals. What is your why? I really want you to sit and think about your why and really get down to the nitty-gritty, because if you don't really sit and think about why, you're not gonna have no motivation to keep you going in the midst of it. Because I'm telling you, there were days and nights I cried doing this, because it takes discipline and consistency. And for me, prayers. Asking the Lord to give me self-control when I want to eat a Big Mac and 2 large fries and a Sprite, okay? And a chocolate vanilla swirl with Cookie Crunch, please. Like, okay, it took prayers, self-control, discipline, and consistency. And you're gonna need to look back when you're in the moments of like, should I eat this double fry with a Big Mac? And you're gonna have to remind yourself, why am I doing this? What's the reason behind it? So that's why I say that. The first thing I want you to do is come up with your why. What are your goals? Write them down, make them plain, and pray about them. And also, just to backtrack on your why, I want you to check your heart posture. Again, make sure when you're writing these things out, your why is not for anybody else but you. You are the one who has to live in this body for the rest of your life. Not your mom and them, not your sister, not your brother, not your boyfriend, not your girlfriend. It is you. So ultimately, it is up to how you want to look, how you want your physique, and what you want to put in your body and what you want to do. It is not nobody else's opinions, he say, she say, on what you should look like. It is what your goals are. They ain't doing this for you. So make sure your heart posture is for you. You're not doing this to seek the approval of man. At the end of the day, the only persons who to me personally, the only person's opinion who matters is God's. So if you're doing this to people please, evaluate your heart posture. If you're doing this, again, for the wrong reasons, evaluate your heart posture, because that's also going to play a huge part in how you be disciplined and how you're consistent. If your weight loss journey is dependent on the round of applause from other people, you ain't gonna last long, and that's just the real truth. Because I went through this, and the Lord is really what had to get me through this, not a whole bunch of like people telling me good job. And I mean, yes, I received those things, but I was not dependent on those things. So don't allow man's approval or like people pleasing be your motivating factor for this. And yeah, so I just want to, from Cali to you in love, don't do this for man's approval. On to the next thing, okay? Point number 2, the tools I used. For one, okay, this is a faith-based channel. Scripture, my word, prayers, asking the Lord to give me verses of strength, things to meditate on when I was going through this. Number 2, on a practical level, no, that's spiritual. On a physical side of things, a food scale. Another thing I said again, an actual scale for you to weigh yourself. That's pretty much it, y'all. This go round, I didn't do too much like crazy stuff like I did the first go round, y'all. I was trying these and a whole bunch of stuff without God. So this time it was very simplistic. So again, the tools that I used was just scriptures, and I use scriptures as words of encouragement. There's gonna be times when you go through this and you need to be encouraged, and you may not hear that by word of mouth from somebody. So for me personally, finding Bible verses that gave me strength, that I can meditate on, helped me to get through this. Like we all know, we can do all things through Christ who gives us the strength to do them. That was one of them. Another one was Galatians 6:10, are you doing this for the approval of God or for the approval of man? And then I'll pop some more in here so you can see. I'll put them right here so you can, be encouraged. But that's why I did that. The food scale is so that you can actually weigh your stuff out, and I will actually clip it. The food scale I use, I'll clip it right here so you can see which one I use. And you can find it on Amazon, y'all. Y'all don't gotta get no expensive food scale. Do not pay no 30, 40, hear me now. Do not go on Amazon paying no $30, $40 for no food scale. My food scale was only, I wanna say $12. That was including shipping. And it has lasted me this long. Start simple. Don't overcomplicate this. When you start overcomplicating it, that's when it gets hard and you be like, I'm done with this. Keep it simple, okay? So that was the next thing. I got a food scale. And the point of the food scale is to help you measure your food out. And I'll definitely have to do that for another video. Like if y'all want me to show you how to use a food scale, I can do that. I have no problem doing that. But a lot of what I learned was on TikTok and Google. But the food scale, it'll have like different units of measurement. And for pretty much everything I had, I measured in grams. And so what you want to do is you'll put the food in and you'll look at the back of the package, and usually it'll say the serving size. And this is why the food scale is helpful, because sometimes some serving sizes be capped. I've learned since I've been measuring my food, it be capping. Sometimes you could be eating too much because you don't know how much you eating for real. Like, y'all, I measured my food out, I said, oh my gosh, I'm eating way too much. The serving size is 56 grams and I'm eating 156. Okay, so the food scale opened my eyes to see how much I was eating, and it helped me to, again, have an accurate measurement to what I'm eating, for the point of me using my bear with me, my Sorry, all my camera died. I had to come back. But back where I was after I was stuttering, struggling to get that out. The point of me using a food scale was to help me track my macros. And oh yeah, that's the other thing, my bad. My bad, y'all. The other thing I forgot to mention is you want an app to help you track your macros, your calories. And personally, I have been using this app called Lose It. And so it's an orange app and it looks like this. I'll have to like show y'all on the side. I'll clip it in here. But it's an orange app and literally all you do, well, I bought the premium for 1 year when it was on sale. They always have sales going on. So I bought it for 1 year and it was only like 20 bucks to like add in everything. And so all you do, y'all, you just scan the back of the package, and with the food scale, once you weigh the food, you'll just type in the grams, or you can like slide the thing down to show you the grams and you'll plug it in and that's it. And so it'll show you how many macros you've had. Like it'll show you your calories, it'll show you your carbs, it'll show you your sugar, it'll show you all that stuff. And for me, I track that personally because I have noticed, again, with my weight loss journey, it plays a big part in even like my face clearing up and all that, y'all. That's a whole nother segment. If y'all want to know how to clear my, that's a whole nother thing of its own. But I'm learning as I continue to go through this journey, like my health is a huge part of like other factors in my body, my skin, my mood. And so I like to track these things because I notice differences. When I'm eating too much sugar, I break out like crazy. If I'm not drinking enough water, my skin looks dry. You know what I mean? But also too, for the purpose of my goals, which is to like tone and lean, I need to know how much I'm consuming. So those would be the 4 things. Forgive me, y'all, I said 3. So just to go down the list again, you're gonna need to know your why. That's number 1. Your number 2, you're gonna want a food scale. Number 3, you're gonna want a regular scale to weigh yourself. And I personally did not weigh myself every week. Do not drive yourself crazy doing that, okay? I weighed myself every 2 to 3 weeks. And if you're a woman, I did not weigh myself when my cycle was coming on, because as a woman, you gain water weight. So you get up on that scale, you'll be like, oh my God, like I gained so much weight. And it's really 7 pounds in water weight. I learned that over time, y'all. I learned it the hard way. I thought I would be, you know, I wanted to be real cutesy and see how much I weighed. And I noticed I go up like 7 pounds of water weight. And then when my cycle's over, it's right back normal where it was. So I would not trip too much on like weighing yourself every week. I feel like that's gonna drive you insane, especially if you're trying to do this slow and steady. Sometimes, even for me, just realistically, sometimes my weight was stagnant. Sometimes there was no change, and that could be discouraging. But again, continue to show up and be consistent when the result is not quick, fast, in a hurry. It took time. And so I know for me, I started to see a difference. I want to say after the first month, like I would go down a half a pound or a third of a pound. But even though it was not just like 1 pound, just seeing the little changes lead up to the big one is what is important. So don't get so fixated on the number. Again, take your time, enjoy the journey. On to the next thing. Okay, on to the next thing. I want to explain what a calorie deficit is. Okay, now I'm not a professional, but what I can tell you out of my professional experience of losing and gaining weight,
Boy, if you don't get,
and even almost seeking out a weight loss trainer, those are great, you know, but they're all gonna tell you the same thing. They're gonna tell you what I'm telling you. Get on a calorie deficit. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but also scientifically, that is the only way you're going to lose weight, is being on a calorie. It's either you're gonna lose weight on a calorie deficit or you're gonna gain weight on a calorie surplus. There is no in between. That's the only way it's gonna happen. And so I'm gonna explain it the best way that I can remember to explain it. So a calorie deficit is basically eating less calories than what your body needs to maintain current weight. So for instance, in order for me to maintain 176, my maintenance calories are 2100. Now I can eat that every day and still maintain the same weight. Now if I eat about 500 calories lower than 2100, I will lose weight. If I eat 500 calories over 2100, I'm going to gain weight. And that's all that a calorie deficit is. A calorie deficit is eating less calories than what your body needs to maintain. And that's what the number I was talking about, 2100, is your maintenance calories. So I'm gonna tell you, like all these TikTok videos told me, and the weight loss trainer I spoke to told me, go online, look up a TDEE calculator. I will clip in the one that I use. You're gonna go online, look up free TDEE calculator. You're gonna type in all the information, fill it out, and you're gonna hit enter. And it should tell you what your maintenance is. That is the amount you need to eat to maintain weight. If you see a number lower than that, that is the amount you need to eat to lose weight. And a number higher than that is gonna be the number you need to gain weight. That is how you're gonna figure out what your calorie deficit, or if you're trying to gain weight, surplus is. And that's the only way that's gonna happen. And I'm sorry to break it to the people who be, you know, but it is the truth, and there's scientific, you know, facts out there. Argue with your mama, not me. On to the next. On to the next. On to the next. And also too, not to mention, let me backtrack. Not to mention, for the calorie deficit, it's gonna give you a number, y'all, that's gonna be like mad low, okay? Like my number, when I started, it was telling me I need to eat 1600. I was like, I'm gonna drop weight like too quick. So what I did was, instead of me eating like not 1600, it gave me 1700 to lose weight, a pound a week. But I told y'all I was doing this slow and steady. So what I did was eat between 1700 and 1900. Again, if my maintenance is 2100 calories, anything below that, you'll lose weight. So that's where I kept it. I feel like that's realistic. And the thing is, it's not so strenuous on your body and on your metabolism. It's gonna be strenuous up here. Trust and believe, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be like, it's gonna be some nice, that stomach growling. At 12 a.m., you're gonna be tempted to go in that fridge and eat that butter pecan ice cream, that sherbet ice cream, that cookie crunch ice cream, whatever it is, that millennium crunch. You're gonna be tempted. You're gonna be real tempted. But that's when you're gonna have self-control, and you're gonna have to remember your why. You're gonna have to really remember your why. So yeah, that is what a calorie deficit is. On to the next thing. The next thing on the list, y'all gonna get tired of me saying this, consistency and patience. This is a journey, okay? This is a marathon, not a race. Any kind of weight loss journey is a marathon, not a race. Unless you really got a timestamp, like your life depend on it, I get it. But if you're not in no rush, Bookie, then don't rush. I would say take your time, enjoy the journey, because it's gonna happen so fast. 1 year is very quick. And from the time that I graduated to now, I was so happy I took it slow to enjoy each stage where I was at with my weight loss, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. It gets to a point when, and just full transparency of my journey, there's a point where I was not satisfied where I was at currently, like at my heaviest. So when I lost weight the first time, I wasn't satisfied. I still saw something wrong. I still feel like something needed to be changed. It's not enough. And now that I'm doing it in Christ, I have learned to be content in every circumstance, whether I'm at 208 or 176. Being able to love myself in every stage has made this a little bit easier. And I feel like when you try to speed through it, you don't get the ability to do that and enjoy the process, because I know when I lost weight, I kind of grieved it. You kind of grieve being a certain size when that's all you know, or for some of us, that's all we've seen. And I feel like for people who are in Christ and maybe on their weight loss journey or not, I feel like this is not only for you, but the generation after you. You're breaking generational curses. You're breaking generational things. And I feel like to be the first to do this, it is gonna be hard. It is gonna be challenging. It is going to test your patience. There are gonna be some days where you're gonna be tempted to be like, let me just just not eat for 2, 3, 4 days at a time, and that's not healthy. Or days where you're like, you know what, forget it because this is hard. But you're gonna have to be really patient with yourself and know that God will give you the strength to get through this. And know that you're not just doing this for you, but there's a reason on your why, and you're doing this for the many people after you. And so know that patience and consistency are the key. Keep showing up when it's hard. Keep showing up when it don't make sense. Keep showing up when you're like, bro, I'm over this. Keep showing up when you backslide. Trust and believe. This go around, oh, there were many times I done ate a double quarter pounder with cheese. I went to Wingstop and got me 20 wings. I was big backing it out. There was many times, but you have to catch yourself. Don't let those moments stop you from still going forward. Just learn from it and keep pushing. And I know too, I work out, so just giving yourself the grace and the space. If you can't hit the gym every day, it is okay. It is not for my gym heads, for my gym rats like me. If you don't go to the gym every day, it is not the end of the world. Okay, I have learned that even when I'm overate on my deficit, I didn't gain weight, and I was like, oh shoot. You know, that one time you overeat because you had a function with your family or something, it is not the end of the world. So do not beat yourself up. Don't go home like getting on the scale trying to see, did I gain 3 or 4 or 5 pounds? Don't beat yourself up. It happens. Keep it pushing and don't stay there. So that's my encouragement to you. Like, consistency and patience are the key. My next tip I want to give you is setting realistic goals. Some of us can't get to where we are because we keep not being real with ourselves.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
Like, you gotta be realistic. If you know you're not a 5 a.m. girl, let's just be transparent. I'm not no 5 a.m. girly. When I started, I was like, I'm gonna hit the gym at 5 a.m. and go work out full blown cap. I've just realized I'm not a 5 a.m. girl, and that's okay. I am a 10 p.m., 9 p.m., 8 p.m. girl. You gotta set realistic goals that work for you, not your mom and them, and not everybody else in your ear. You gotta set realistic goals for yourself. So in this process, you're gonna really have to be honest with yourself. You're gonna have to sit down and write out goals that are measurable, obtainable, realistic, and you can meet them in a certain amount of time. So my goal was, by my birthday of the following year, I wanted to be at 180-ish, and that's realistic. That's like 25 pounds, I want to say. And I ended up doing that. It ended up being May, but you see what I mean? It was realistic. But by the time April came, I was at like 178. So it was realistic. You see what I mean? It wasn't anything that wasn't obtainable, that wasn't measurable, that wasn't, you know what I mean? I couldn't meet it. And so I feel like what makes weight loss hard is when you place these really high expectations on yourself and then you don't meet the expectation, and then that's why you quit. Well, you need to be more honest with yourself. And I feel like once you get honest with yourself, well, what you're really willing to do and what you're not willing to do is gonna help you out. And that's in love, Bookie. It's not to hurt your feelings. It's in love. I dealt with it too. When the Lord started convicting me, it was like, you're not where you're at because you're not honest. It's okay. I felt the conviction too. It's all right. I'm with you. But you need to set realistic goals. And that can look like, if you got a full-blown work schedule, maybe working 2-3 times out the week and eating a balanced meal. You know what I mean? If you're working part-time, you know, I work part-time because I have school. I go to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week, and if I can't make it through the weekday, I try to make it up through the weekend. But for the most part, I eat balanced meals. Yeah. And I'm not too restrictive. There are certain things I'm very restrictive on, and I'll probably like make that in another video, like what I eat and all that. But for the most part, I try to eat a balanced meal. I try to make sure I have vegetables on my plate, a carb on my plate, some meat on my plate, and drinking water, plenty of water. And water is really gonna help you lose weight. Don't drink a whole bunch of soda and sugary stuff. That's gonna delay the process. I mean, you can. Again, if it's in the deficit, you can, you know, it's just a little cheat code. Whatever's in your calorie deficit, you could truly eat it. But if you're trying to, like, you know, build better habits, I'm gonna tell you to drink more water than you drinking juice. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, just make sure you're making realistic goals, y'all. And being honest with yourself. And when you make these goals, I feel like once you get real with yourself, and again, you realize what you're willing to do or what you can't do, it's gonna help you lose weight. That's the next tip I have. The other one I have is having fun with it. Find balance. A lot of what makes weight loss hard is that we're so hard on ourselves. I know there's that, there's the thin line between discipline, right? You gotta be real disciplined. And then the other half is like, we get real lax. You gotta have a happy medium. So for me personally, I'll be on my deficit throughout the week. On the weekend, I eat maintenance calories. I don't eat whatever I want, but for the most part, for the people who know me, I eat whatever I want. We finna go out. I'm gonna eat what I wanna eat. So have fun with it. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too restrictive. The only things I'm primarily restrictive on is I no longer drink milk. I drink like dairy. I'm very limited on the dairy products. I drink a lot of almond milk. I don't drink oat milk no more. I drink almond milk. I really don't eat cheese like that. The meat I eat for the most part, I eat ground turkey and chicken. I really don't eat beef like that. And again, that's a whole nother thing, how the Lord changed my taste palette. That's a whole nother thing on its own. But for the most part, those are the things that I eat. Even like the oils I cook with. My sisters in Christ put me on cooking with grapeseed oil as a replacement for canola or vegetable oil. I use low sodium butter. I really don't fry foods no more unless it's wings. But for the most part, I use the air fryer, or I like to saute or bake. But when it comes to eating, y'all, like, have fun. I still be eating tacos and drinking sparkling water and tea, when I want to, and not feeling guilty about it because I'm mindfully eating. And that's the thing too. Once you get the hang of this, you can get to a point where you're mindfully eating. You're not having to track everything every single day. You're gonna realize, like, all right, I'm mad full and I need to stop. Or you realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't eat this full plate. Maybe I should save it for later. And so again, if y'all want me to make another video, I can make another video on like your calorie deficit and all, like the things I eat and all that stuff. I can make that in a whole nother video. But yes, so I would say just have fun with it, y'all. Like, don't beat yourself up. If you're new to this, I would say come into this, don't restrict your diet. Like, the thing is too, with a calorie deficit, you can still eat, the truth is you can still eat whatever as long as it's in your deficit, and you will still lose weight, because that's what happened the first time. I was eating Chick-fil-A, y'all, and Dairy Queen, and still lost weight in a calorie deficit. And that's the wholehearted truth. People gonna tell you need to eat this, this, and that. As long as you eating for the beginners. If you're not like mid-level and you working on like your food and what you consume, for the beginners, eat unrestricted and see what happens. And then when you get to the point where your taste palette starts to change, your diet starts to change, that's when you're gonna see some like bigger changes too. But when I first started, it was unrestricted and I was on a deficit. And over time, the kind of foods I eat, what I eat has changed. So that's the other tip. The next one I have is inviting God into your journey. This has played a huge role into my weight loss. When I invited the Lord into my journey, I wasn't just inviting him to lose weight, but I was inviting him to break chains with me. And that's the truth. Curvy women and heavier men run on both sides of my family. Even me, y'all have seen me, I'm very curvy. It just is genetics. But I've learned through the Lord and his wisdom, a lot of it is generational, and a lot of things that go on in our families are generational. They just happen to be handed down to us. And so for me, my weight loss goal, this wasn't just for me, but I wanted it to be for generations after me. You know what I mean? And also too, it plays a big part in genetics. Just know, like, whatever you got and carry now, when you have kids and all that, it's gonna pass down. So that's also why I'm trying to get it right. I'm I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to get it right. So, whatever the Lord do, he do, we good. So that's also why, and not only that, the Lord is gonna like do with your heart in the process of this. Again, full transparency with my story, I did it for the wrong reasons. And this time, the Lord really showed me how to like love myself in this journey, enjoy the process in this journey. And he really gave me the strength and the endurance to do this. Even when there were times I wasn't quite hearing like a good job or you're doing great, the Lord kept me encouraged. His word kept me encouraged, and my why is what kept me pushing. And also too, like the revelations that God gave me about how being heavy set running my family, like even like just the information I learned, I was like, dang God, it's really way deeper than just me. And so I feel like if you're like me and you're the first to do this, like, again, I have never had surgery. This is all natural. This is all the Lord. It is going to be a challenge because not only are you the first to do it, but sometimes there is nobody else guiding you how to do it. And that's what makes it challenging. But when you have Jesus, when you have God, when you have the Holy Spirit, they will lead you into wisdom, and they will grant you with the tools, with the resources, heck, even people to get you through this. And I can say, like, God has sent people my way to give me wisdom and understanding, videos to give me wisdom and understanding, books to give me wisdom and understanding, y'all, a Netflix show to give me wisdom and understanding. And I feel like over time that has shifted the way that not only I lose weight, but the way that I eat. And that's a whole other thing, and we still working on it. But that is why I say invite the Lord into your journey. He knows all things, and you're important to him. And he cares about you, not just the big things, but even these things that may seem so minute in your eyes. You feel like, why would God want to be a part of it? He wants to be a part of it. And not only that, he wants to help you get through this. Maybe he wants to show you some things about you. You know what I mean? And I know for me, God showed me a lot about me in this weight loss process. It wasn't just about my weight. It was about my mindset. It was about my attitude. And he had to give me the right attitude and the mindset to really get through this thing. So that is why I say invite the Lord into your weight loss journey. The next tip that I have is not comparing yourself to others. That is going to be your biggest battle outside of the mind games. It's going to be seeing what everybody else doing, and you're going to want to try to do what everybody else doing. But the tip I have for you, Bookie, is stay in your lane. Just stay in your lane. If that means you gotta log off of social media, do it. If that means you gotta cut some folks off, do it. If that means you gotta go rogue, do it. But stay in your lane. You cannot compare a seed to a tree. Somebody who's already been doing it for 6 years versus you who just started and it's been 1 month. It's gonna cut. Like, it's gonna, not only is it gonna mess with your mind, but it's gonna keep you trapped in this cycle of competing with nobody, because you're gonna be trying to compete, and who you competing with?
Not getting it. It's not clocking.
They don't even know you in competition. You competing with yourself. So stay in your lane. Your lane is the best way to be in. It's like when you driving a car, if you swerve into somebody else's lane, you gonna get in a crash. And that's what happens. You start to compare yourself to other people. You're gonna find yourself mentally like down and depressed because you're comparing yourself. And you cannot do that. Your journey is not the next person's journey. You don't know what the other person had to go through to get to where they're going, just as much as they don't know what you're going through to get, for you to get through your journey. So stop comparing yourself to other people. And also, quite frankly, y'all, some of these influencers out here, just nugget that I just learned, some of these people be having surgeries and doing weight. Everything that you see out there is not real. That's what I'm saying. You can't keep comparing your journey to the next. Some of these people don't even be working out for real. Some of these people be spraying water on their face. They show up, make their little videos, and go home. Like, you cannot be comparing yourself. Stop it. Your journey is just as important as the next person's, and your journey will bless somebody else. So enjoy the journey. Take it a day at a time, and please stop comparing yourself. There is only one you, and this journey is uniquely catered toward you. It's not for your sister, it's not for your mama, it's not for everybody else. So just stay in your lane. Enjoy the process, and I promise you that's gonna lift a lot of the weight that you feel, because when I started, just total transparency, I was comparing myself to other women, and I was like, maybe I need to do what they do, and maybe I need to do my exercising like this, and maybe I need to do my gym like this. And I realized that what they do don't work for me, and maybe what I do is not gonna work for them. So you can't compare your journey to the next person, because everybody has something that is catered toward them. So just some words of love. Stop comparing yourself, okay? And last but not least, what I currently do to stay in shape and to maintain weight. And just on a practical level, y'all, so it's not nothing crazy. Currently, what I do to just maintain weights and stay fit, I personally go to the gym. If you know me, I've been on this weight loss journey since high school. So it'll be almost 5 or 6 years now. But my journey really shifted when I invited the Lord. When he started to change not just my weight loss, like how to lose weight properly, but my eating habits. That's when a lot of stuff has shifted, even health-wise, like my skin. And we still working on that, okay? I'm not perfect, but by his grace, like my skin has been clearing up. Like right now I got makeup, but the base ain't breaking out like how it was, you know what I mean? At first I was eating a whole bunch of dairy, a whole bunch of sugar, a whole bunch of not drinking enough water. I'm drinking coffee all the time and tea with creamer, and I was breaking out like crazy. And so what I do now to just stay fit, I eat a balanced diet, I go to the gym, and quite honestly, inviting Jesus into my journey, having a relationship with God is what keeps me not just physically fit, but spiritually fit. And fit for me is physically and internally transformed. It's not just physical, you know what I mean? It's mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. And so that is what I do. I know I go to the gym like 3 to 4 times of the week. If I can't make 4, it is what it is. You know, life happens. But my deficit wise now, because I am trying to get still to a certain weight, I'm still eating in a deficit. But for the most part, y'all, it is me being more conscious about what I'm eating. I'm not having to always scan my food all the time. Now, do I weigh my food sometimes? Yes. When I meal prep, I do weigh my food, and I do want to know my macros so I'm not like overeating. But for the most part, I am consciously eating. And also too, something that the Lord gave me throughout my weight loss journey was I'm eating to be satisfied and not full. And I know a lot of us, just transparency, like growing up, I was taught not to waste food. So do you know how hard it was when you're on a deficit and you have to have self-control, and you see it's like a couple pieces on the plate, you like, you know, let me just finish. And you have to really tell yourself like, hey, yo, mom is not finna get mad at you for not finishing your food. Like, it's okay not to finish. And so that is something I had to learn too. Like, you are eating to be satisfied and not full. And I feel like now, because I've been training myself like that, I actually get a lot of discomfort when I'm full. I feel very bloated. I feel like I can't do what I need to do. I be sleeping, y'all, and I feel like nothing gets done. So when I'm eating to be satisfied, and you can feel it in your stomach, when you get to that point of I'm almost full, but I'm not full, but I'm satisfied, that's where I stop. But another thing that God has given me too, that has helped me to just stay fit right now, is accountability. Like having sisters in Christ that you can talk to. And sometimes if I can't talk to them, like praying, talking to God and telling him what's on my heart and what is like, you know, weighing me down, or what is, you know, important to me, it helps me too. Like, you want some accountability partners who are going to encourage you, keep you in check, you know, but also like cheer you on along the way. So that is also what has helped me, like being able to like talk to my sisters in Christ and tell them what's going on, and also the Lord. And that is what has graced me through as well. So make sure that you have a community, and if you don't, like your friends, your family, somebody you can trust and confide in, heck, your counselor, you know, whatever that is for you, do that. I just hope that this video has helped, and just like my tips and tricks. And again, like my relationship with God is bigger than just weight loss. Like, he is an important aspect into my life in all areas. I invite him into these areas because he's the Alpha, he's the Omega, he's the beginning, he's the end. He heals, he restores, he breaks off chains, and he can start a whole new thing. So that is why the Lord is in my journey. Like, that's my Father, that's my friend, that's my healer, that's my provider. He is a major part of my life, and to not include him into this aspect would be wild. So that is like what I do currently. And even now, like in terms of fitness, like I go to the gym, but sometimes I want to switch up, you know what I mean? Sometimes I go walking, sometimes I'll go hang out with friends and go walking. Sometimes, you know, I do cardio in the gym. I kind of switch it up. And like when I work out, my days are like split days. It's not me doing everything all in one day because of my schedule. It works for me. So yeah, y'all, this is how I lost weight with the Lord this time, you know, with him and not on my own understanding. So some verses I just want to leave you with is, I'll probably clip them because I ain't gonna lie, right now I can't think of them off the top of my head. But through this process, God is gonna make you a new thing. He's not just gonna renew like your body, he's gonna renew your heart and your mind, your will and your emotions. And you truly can do all things through Christ. What may seem impossible to us is very much possible with God. But I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more, okay? Keep being amazing, keep being a light, and keep being you. Love you. Bye.
If you be the cash, I'll be the rubber band.